Hey guys, it's me, my face. Now a bucket load of whips. Today's happy dance isn't brought to us by anything. I ran out of coffee, I didn't get more, I don't have a beverage. It's a rough day so far. If you're new here, my name is Andrea and this is a channel about cross-stitching and drinking and coffee and cats and ideas and opinions. And if those last couple of things are not your gig, sorry. If you're a returning visitor, welcome back. Sorry about last week's video being just a hello. I didn't have much to show, and you know, the world was kind of because Thanksgiving week when you work for retailers is insanity. It still actually hasn't finished yet, but I'm taking a minute to do my best to record and ignore the message that just popped up from work. Right. So I have more than a couple of things to show you this week. I have a finish and a new start. I know. Let's jump in. First thing I worked on is from Cloudsfactory. This is the Lion King. And look at him. Look how cute. I'm thinking that that is Mustafa. And there is one more large lion on this side. And then other than the backstitching and the wording, which is backstitching, this is all done and ready for little baby boy, soon to be named, to come into the world in February. I've never done a Cloudsfactory before because they tend to be a little, you know, cutesy. But I really enjoyed this. Stitched up fast, like really fast, like satisfyingly fast. So I don't know. Maybe I'll go looking around their site for something else. The next thing I worked on is the Linen and Threads 2020 Mystery Stitch Along. This I worked on and then I unworked on it and then I had to work on it again. So really there's twice as much work that went into this, but you can only see half of it. I had stitched most of this motif up here and found out that it was in the wrong spot, because of course it was. And I had to pick it all out and then restart. So this is after I've picked the whole thing out and then repositioned it. 1/1 on mystery count is not something I enjoy picking out. I mean, I don't like picking out of 14 count Ada, but this was frustrating. This took a seam ripper and a lot of soul. The next thing I worked on is the Roladex Mourning sampler. This is from Michelle, Bendy Stitchy Designs, and I am loving it. I managed to get all of that tree done. Well, all the tree that you see. I think there's more tree. But again, this started once I have 5 minutes in my head that I can work with, I can stitch pretty quickly. This worked out faster than I thought. And it just, the faster it stitches up, the more it makes me want to stitch on it, which means I get more done, which means this is something, this is like a life lesson. I don't know what it is. I'll probably not remember it later, but it sounds important. I think what I might do tonight is work on the weeping part of the willow as I watch TV tonight, as I started watching Evil last night, which I didn't think was going to be interesting, and is way interesting. But last night I was not facing the computer while I was stitching, and it got distracting to try to turn and watch the television, so I can stitch on this and kind of pay attention a little better, I hope. The next thing I worked on is Death by Cross Stitch. This is by Long Dog Samplers, naturally, and I made some headway. Again, learning life lessons while I stitch. Let me get this up and make sure that you can see. Hopefully you can see. I filled in that little like all that variegated purple leg and the little, let's call it a flower of some sort. But I also kind of, let me bring this back in here. This is a big girl. I started doing things like this where I'm just sort of outlining areas and stitching like straight lines where I can. And I think that might be the secret to stitching a long dog, is to work the borders and the edges and then fill in, because I feel like there's a lot less of me thinking where stuff is supposed to lay out if I already have the boundary set in. Does that make sense? It might not. I could be making it up. Either way, I got to scroll the frame up a little bit last night, and that was exciting. That and working with the purple variegated thread. I have simple needs. So those were all my existing whips. What did I finish? Bringing home the tree. I did it! I started a thing and I finished a thing. And it came out, I have to say, gift worthy. Those snowflakes were no joke. I think the snowflakes were more of an issue than like that solid blue stitching, which was solid enough to be annoying, but not solid enough that you could just not pay attention. Thanks. So I managed to get this done. I need to get it to Michael's to get it framed, because hopefully I can give it to the recipient in the next couple of weeks so that they can hang it up and have it for Christmas. Ta-da! Now, because I had to finish, naturally I needed a new start, and I wanted a small, just something that there was like an end in sight kind of deal. So I remembered, oddly, I remembered that I have Rack Stack, and this is from Plum Street Samplers. And oh my god, the progress I've made. Look, it's so cute. I'm just stitching this out of stash. This is a light blue even weave that I believe Stitchy godmother Laura sent me. I don't know if she dyed it. Laura, did you dye this, or was this just something you found? Because you do that. And I'm just stitching with DMCs and Classic Colorworks and Weeks Dye Works and whatever I found that kind of matched things I didn't have. And it's so cute. I'm so happy to be stitching on this. And you know, I have not done 2/2 on 28 count in forevers. I had considered doing it 1/1 because, you know, it's no fun unless it's 1/1. But I kind of wanted this to be not like for real, but I wanted it to be like a little more substantial than what my 1/1 will usually give me, which is a really cute, weeny little finish. But it's not always something that looks great when I put it out, or I can't think of a good way to finish it because it's so small. So it's really just going to be, it's ornament sized or nothing. This will have a little heft to it. Maybe I can do something with it. So that is all the stitching that I have been up to in the past couple of weeks, which I have to say is not half bad, especially with a finish and a new start. That's unusual for me. That's unusual for me. I kind of want to start other things. Who am I? I got 2 little chunks of haul in the past couple of weeks, which we will just breeze through. I received this is the Frost Frenzy for November. Yes. And this is all Weeks Dye Works. This is from Fat Quarter Shop. And what they do is, rather than like my nest egg, which comes in alphabetical order, they pick a color scheme and send you 6 skeins in that color scheme. So what we have is Mocha, which I found out, I think in Australia they say maca, something like that. I was watching Animal Instinct yesterday, and I think she was calling it maca, which tickled me. This is cocoa. If you call that mocha, what do you call cocoa? Okay, that's dirty. Okay. Chestnut. Grapevine, which I've actually had a skein of this forever. I got this when I was trying to figure out what to do with the Salem Remembrance sampler thing that I did ages ago. That was what, 3 years ago? I don't know. If I can figure it out, I'll put it up here. Anyway, now I have 2 skeins. I gotta use this thing. This is molasses. And I can't really pronounce, it's tatanka. Tatanka? Tatanka. 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 It's not changing anytime it comes out of my mouth. What am I doing? So I like those. I like a nice set of neutrals. Maybe I'll use one of those in the rack stack for one of the deer. We'll see. I also received my Classic Colorworks nest egg from 3 Owl Threads. I'm in love with this thread of the month. I don't know. Where did my something happen? Yeah, it's gonna be one of those days. Let's just breeze through the colors, shall we? Got Bramble Bush, Clay Pot, which is a really pretty dusty samplery pink, Cottage Garden, which is like a blue, pinky green variegated. I don't know if I'll find a use for that. Maybe that'll be a nice giveaway. Creamy Peach, which just sounds tasty. Dandelion Stem. Deep Blue Sea. Eggshell. Because you can never have enough ecru in your life. There's another thing popping up from work. I'm ignoring it. Look at me ignoring it. Finley Gold. Fresh Brew. That's a great brown. And Golden Star, which is actually a really nicely variegated. It goes from like a lemony yellow, like a really saturated yellow, to a gold. I don't know what I would use it for, but I kind of want to use it. We'll figure it out. And that is all the haul. So that is all my Stitchy updates from the past couple of weeks. Obviously, here in the US, we had Thanksgiving last week. I did not Thanksgiving. I went to my sister's house the night before to indulge in some pies that she had made, because it was just going to be, her and I and her daughter. So I didn't feel like that was a crowd. So that was a good time, but I chose not to go to like the family dinner the next day, even though there weren't going to be that many more people. It was enough to make me question whether it was smart. I still hold out in the back of my head that I should try to quarantine as much as possible, just in case my father needs me for something. I can go over there with a fairly clear conscience and a lot of hand sanitizer. I think that is it for me this week. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving, whether you were home or out and about. I hope you did it safely. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your likes and even your dislikes. And thank you for your comments. I appreciate every single one of them. You are my community. Bye, guys.